Tonight on SUTV News,
A new government proposal could leave Shippensburg elderly hungry.
all that and more right now. Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Ian Fitzgerald.
And I'm Zach Salzgiver. Governor Tom Wolf proposed a plan to consolidate 4 departments into one agency called the Department of Health and Human Services. The proposal impacts programs like the Shippensburg Meals on Wheels. Joe Rodriguez has the story.
The way Meals on Wheels in Shippensburg has developed, there are a lot of people that depend on us.
Meals on Wheels President Linda Jackson has seen a lot of changes. The demand for the Shippensburg Meals on Wheels program has grown over the years.
It was reported that we had 2,309 meals delivered in just the first quarter of this year. So we've increased a little over 300 meals since last year per quarter, which is quite a bit.
Gerontology professor Dr. Dara Barasa thinks it is important to give senior citizens a nutritious meal.
Nutrition is very important towards older adults. People tend to be malnourished. About 1/4 of the senior population is malnourished in our country.
With Governor Wolf's proposed plan to merge the Department of Aging with other departments, senior citizens are worried that their voices might not get heard.
If a bill goes through that our governor wants, it's very possible there'll be no senior centers and there'll be no Meals on Wheels.
Dr. Barasa is concerned about the lack of meals for senior citizens if the proposal goes through.
So to qualify for Meals on Wheels, you can't leave your house, okay? You're pretty much homebound. And so if we don't, they are dependent on these meals, but we would have some seniors that would be really, they would not be able to eat.
If the plan goes through, Linda is worried there will be no other options for Shippensburg residents.
We have no one in Shippensburg that will take over doing the meals. So it's right at this time, it's a little bit concerning.
Mm-hmm. They have paved the way for the liberties that we have right now, and it's only right that we honor our older adults and try to make their lives as happy as they can be.
Meals on Wheels consists of volunteer work. Drivers deliver meals to seniors every day. Although the manpower is volunteer, the meals are paid for through lottery money that would get used elsewhere with the consolidation. For SUTV News, I'm Joe Rodriguez.
Shippensburg Meals on Wheels is looking for volunteers. For more information, visit SUTVnews.com. It's been months since SHIP has had a permanent president. The search has been ongoing and is beginning to narrow.
We are in an aggressive search for a new president. We are about to interview 8 semifinalists for the position.
The search committee will select 3 finalists from the 8 candidates to come to campus and talk with students before the end of the semester.
Women's rights advocates in Shippensburg took over this week, for one night anyway. Advocates captured Tuesday night, joining on National Take Back the Night. Sasha Gunter has the story.
Take Back the Night began over 30 years ago as an event reminding women of the danger of going out alone at night and to raise awareness about sexual and domestic violence.
It really focuses on being respectful in your relationships, focusing on sexual assault, intimate partner abuse, domestic violence, any type of violence that occurs against any individual.
Sexual misconduct is any unwelcome or non-consensual act, whether with contact or not, such as stalking, voyeurism, or touching.
A lot of individuals misunderstand consent. Consent is saying yes. And so just because you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship for a month, 2 months, a year, 5 years, you should ask for consent every step of the way.
Men are also victims of sexual assault. 1 in 33 men have been victims of rape or attempted rape, and fewer than half of victims report their assaults.
Say your partner just starts giving you a striptease. That does not mean he can or she can do whatever they want to you, or you can do whatever you want to that person. You always have to ask.
The Women's Center joined forces with other groups on campus also concerned about sexual misconduct.
Multicultural Student Affairs Office, they are holding an event called ICE, and that's focused on human trafficking. So bringing an awareness to that, starting to advocate for those who are victims of that system.
And the group is encouraging students individually to be prepared to take back their own nights with self-defense lessons. Sasha Gunter, SUTV News.
The self-defense lessons are in the Cub Multi-Purpose Room on April 18th at 7. If you're a female student on campus and like to meet new people, you can form new friends by joining Divas. Chavez Ortiz has the story.
I am currently one of the 3 chairs in Divas, and so pretty much I'm one of the bosses, I guess you can say.
Divas Group is hosted through the Multi-Student Cultural Affairs Organization.
This is a women's empowerment group. At first we focus probably primarily on women of color, but anybody can join. We have open arms for every woman of all kinds.
This year, the Divas celebrated their 10th anniversary of their name change. Originally, the group called itself Women of Color.
Stands for developing dignity. I stands for inspiring intellect. V stands for voicing victories. A stands for acquiring assertiveness, and S stands for satisfying self.
They host events throughout the semester to help women feel better about themselves and to hear and voice opinions.
Friday we had a show that showcased, women's talent. So it was an all-women show. We had a woman DJ, a whole singers, rappers, all that good stuff.
Jadia Payne, one of the 3 chairs, believes the Divas Group is important to have on campus.
The women genuinely like each other, and we are concerned about how everyone's doing in classes, how is your mental health, what do you need help with type of thing.
All women on campus are welcome to join Divas. Chavez Ortiz, SUTV News.
If you're looking to join Divas, join them for their meetings every other Tuesday at 4:30 in Gilbert Hall.
It hibernated over winter, but spring is here and 2 Ship grads are dishing out ice cream once again. Ben Imhoff has the story.
We opened in 2005. My brother and I started together. We actually worked at a mom and pop ice cream place where we grew up around Waysport in Latourville, Pennsylvania.
When Andy and his brother were younger, they were inspired by the owner and wanted to open up their own ice cream shop, Goose Brothers.
Well, we always liked the business, and we used to joke around with the owner when we worked growing up in high school and college that we were going to open up our own ice cream shop someday. And so an opportunity arose.
Andy and his brother graduated from Shippensburg and thought there was something missing in the local community.
So we kind of stuck around the area, and this town needed an ice cream shop at the time and didn't have one, so it was a good opportunity for us.
Goose Brothers has the typical sundaes, milkshakes, and ice cream. But in Shippensburg, the store is also one of a kind because they make their own ice cream. With The Scoop, I'm Ben Imhoff, SUTV News.
Goose Brothers is located on Walnut Bottom Road. They're open from 4 till 9 on weekdays and 12 to 11 on weekends. When we come back in World News,
Norway is making great leaps in innovation. Underground, that is.
Stay with us.
After a deadly attack in Syria, the world is trying to figure out who is behind the violence.
Here's Marshall with your World News.
A suspected chemical attack in Syria left hundreds struggling for breath. Be advised, the images you are about to see are graphic. An airstrike in a Syrian town brought pandemonium as yellow and blue chemicals poured from the sky. Survivors say the chemicals left victims dizzy and many fainted. Hundreds are still being treated across the border in Turkey, but no official statement has been made regarding the identity of the attackers. Fire crews in a rural region of Colombia made a timely rescue of an elderly woman amidst recent mudslides. 76-year-old Elena Rodriguez de Gomez was isolated in a rural area when the sudden rise of water destroyed roads and bridges. Gomez was stabilized on the ground after being transferred by National Army aircraft. Argentinian labor unions called for a national strike today. Streets are blocked off, private transportation is suspended, and all of the country's airports are closed. Workers claim the economic policies of President Macri are not working. They're also protesting against the recent layoffs and the dependence of the government on private industries. And finally, Norwegian engineers are constructing the world's first ship tunnel capable of containing massive cruise and freight vessels. The tunnel allows ships to bypass a stretch of treacherous waters by passing through a peninsula of solid rock. Crews will have to blast through 8 million tons of rock with an estimated construction cost of $315 million. The tunnel is scheduled to open in 2023. That's it for this week's World News. I'm Marshall Keeley. Let's head back to the desk.
When we come back in entertainment,
We have the review for theater's newest sci-fi movie. We had a lot of rain this week, not exactly ideal for opening week of baseball.
yeah, Zach, well, whether you're heading to the ballpark or doing any other outdoor activity, it looks like the weather's going to be on your side this weekend. Send it to Katie with the weather.
With warmer weather here to stay, let's take a look at this week's forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 39. Tomorrow, morning showers and a high of 45. In the 5-day, Saturday, sunny skies and a high of 57, and mostly sunny skies on Sunday with a high of 69. Monday starts off the week with partly cloudy skies and a high of 80. Tuesday, it's much of the same, partly cloudy and a high of 79. With springtime weather in full swing, have a safe and exciting weekend. As always, go Raiders!
Comedian John Rickles, best known to this generation as the voice of Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story franchise, passed away this morning. Rickles was idolized by comics for his insult jokes and overall presence while on stage. Rickles died of kidney failure. He would have been 91 in May. Today is a big day for MTV. They repackaged the MTV Movie Awards and released the show's nominations. The 2017 MTV Movie and TV Awards will recognize both TV shows and feature films. Films nominated for Movie of the Year include Beauty and the Beast, Get Out, Logan, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and The Edge of 17. TV shows nominated for the year include Atlanta, Game of Thrones, Insecure, Pretty Little Liars, Stranger Things, and This Is Us. The show airs May 7th. For the full list of nominations, visit sutvnews.com/entertainment. It's the future she can see. The cast for That's So Raven's spin-off series Raven's House is a bit more clear. Raven-Symoné reprises her role as Raven Baxter, and her BFF Chelsea, played by Annalise Vanderpool, joins her. Both women are divorced single moms raising their children together. Jason Maybaum is starring as Chelsea's son Levi. Isaac Brown and Navia Robinson are playing Raven's 11-year-old twins Booker and Nia. One of them has Raven's special psychic talent. No premiere date is released yet, but Raven is serving as an executive producer for the reboot, set to air on Disney Channel. The Defenders have made their first appearance. The superhero team made its appearance in a teaser trailer earlier this week, showing the team in an elevator together. The long-awaited Netflix series combines the superheroes Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist together, each coming from their own solo series to fight an enemy too strong for any of them to face alone. The Defenders will premiere on Netflix August 8th. The live-action take on the popular science fiction anime film Ghost in the Shell hit theaters last week. Ray Shungle has the review.
Ghost in the Shell follows Major, played by Scarlett Johansson, a cyborg policewoman who takes on the most dangerous criminals and extremists. We first meet Major after she suffers an accident and her consciousness is moved into a cybernetic body. Major encounters a terrorist hacker named Kuze and begins to experience glitches, hinting at a bigger mystery surrounding her existence.
You are the first of your kind, but you're not invulnerable.
Maybe next time you can design me better.
The narrative sets the story up nicely but stumbles as the film progresses. Deep philosophical themes try but fall short, leaving the conclusion unsatisfying. Strange and at times beautiful visuals and a compelling performance from Scarlett Johansson aren't enough in the end, as the movie doesn't quite capture the depth of the original anime work, earning the movie 3 out of 5 stars. For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Ray Shungle.
Ghost in the Shell's underwhelming open at $19 million puts it behind Boss Baby and Beauty and the Beast. Well, that's it for tonight's entertainment. I'm Marina Barnett. Now back to the desk.
When we come back in sports, after a week-long trip to the happiest place on earth,
Ship's #1 fan is back. That and more after the break.
It's been close to 5 months since the Shippensburg football team suited up for a game, but the team is still hard at work. Matt Kleindens has the story.
After taking down Seton Hill in the final game of the 2016 regular season, the Red Raiders began their 4-month offseason. But Coach Mack never let up on the game.
We really don't have an offseason here in this football family, whether it's players or coaches.
The coaching staff started the offseason by hitting the recruiting trail.
So all through December, we're on the road recruiting, making home visits, school visits, things like that.
The coaches kept in close contact with recruits all the way through National Signing Day in February. The staff also evaluated game film with players to prepare for next season. The team will showcase their off-season improvements during the spring game next Saturday.
Because every day we're winning or losing a game on the way we're conducting ourselves, how hard we're working, what we're doing off the field.
For SUTV Sports, I'm Matt Kleindens.
The annual Red-White Spring Game kicks off next Saturday at 11. Shippensburg Make-A-Wish Kid participant Jay Dawson returned to the Shippensburg as the women's lacrosse team hosted IUP last Saturday. Josh Charles has the highlights.
The Raiders were unable to overcome a slow start, dropping an 11-5 decision to IUP's Crimson Hawks. The Crimson Hawks came out firing, scoring 5 goals in the first 9 minutes and held the Raiders scoreless through the first 25 minutes of play. At halftime, Jay Dawson, the Make-A-Wish Foundation kid, joined the fans on Saturday to share the fun of his trip.
Exactly 1 year ago today that we returned from our magical trip from Disney World. It was a great experience, a family respite time to put everything behind us, leave everything home in Pennsylvania, and head to the Sunshine State. From the limousine ride that picked us up at our home on the day we left to the day that the limousine dropped us off, there was not one moment that wasn't magical.
IUP's goalie Angela Lontock also had a magical day, finishing the game with 16 saves, the most saves by an opposing goaltender since 2011. Shippensburg women's lacrosse team is looking to extend their record to 6-3 as they will travel to Mercyhurst tomorrow evening. For SUTV Sports, I'm Josh Charles.
The team recently beat Millersville in a pivotal PSAC road match 10-9. A new home run king has been crowned. Senior Jake Kennedy of the men's baseball team has hit a grand slam for his 34th career home run, surpassing Matt DeSanto as the all-time leader in home runs.
It was cool. I didn't know I broke the record at first. My coach told me after I hit it, and everyone's congratulating me in the dugout. So it was pretty awesome to feel that I broke the record for career home runs, so it was pretty cool.
Shippensburg's doubleheader at Lock Haven has been moved from Friday to Sunday at 1. Senior Emily Lutman is doing her part for Shippensburg Athletics. She is this week's PSAC Eastern Division Women's Tennis Athlete of the Week.
It's an honor, really. It was totally unexpected. However, I believe that in receiving it, I've brought a lot of pride here to the university, to my teammates, coach, and also to myself.
Lutman is the first Shippensburg tennis player to earn the Player of the Week honors in more than 10 years. That's it for sports. Let's head back to the desk.
That's it for SUTV News. I'm Ian Fitzgerald.
And I'm Zach Salzgiver. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at SUTV News. And check out our website, sutvnews.com.
We'll see you next time.